as we do, or all of you, as part of the circular economy so that we can turn food waste then into either fertilizer or animal feed or something else and we can keep it going that way. And then there's the concept, of course, of the value chain and many people for the last maybe 50 years or so, but very few people understand what a value chain is. And that each link on the value chain is itself another value chain. So the value chain, like I said, from planting, before you plant, say it's rice, value chain. You have to have the seeds. So getting that seed is also a value chain because somebody has to grow that seed, certify it, package it, transport it so that the farmer can then get the seed and put it in there. Sometimes the shortcut is the farmer themselves will get the seed. So the value chain, each one, so the seed had its own value chain. The transportation has multiple layers of the value chain in the seeds, getting the rice and carrying it to the processor, getting it from the processor to the retailer or the wholesaler, etc., etc. Transportation value chain has many different layers. Um, I realized, so anyway, I realized that there are barriers to entry into any entrepreneurship idea for young people, particularly. The principal one is finance. They all say, I don't have money to start. Other one, if you're talking about agripreneurs, they talk about under land. Although you can grow crops now in the rice bed and you would otherwise throw away, or in a carton box, you can grow your crops there. No one agripreneur who is right now growing an entire garden is valued at almost $20,000 on top of his roof on real estate. It's possible. The value is not what he paid to put it in there. The value is what he will get out of it when he sell all those vegetables that he has planted. I think almost 10,000 seedlings or something he got growing on top of the roof. I have to see it to believe it, but it's there. It's happening. Young people are doing it all over the world. Why not you? And the other idea is competitive profitability. You look at it, you say, I think compete with this other imported, whatever it is, hair products, uh, 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 clothing, or whatever. You say, by the time I make it, the money, I will not get my money back. That's what you're thinking. But um, I would say to you that there are several rules for success I want to share with you. The first and most important rule for success in entrepreneurship, in agripreneurship, or in entrepreneurship, just start. Start. You look at all the different things, start. Nobody said that you will not fail and fail and fail again. Every successful entrepreneur can tell you how many times they failed before they will find it successful. Just start. You start it, then you can see where the problems are, you try to overcome them, and you can go step by step. Mahmoud Johnson not here, but he had to do it like that too. Myself, when I started many years ago, I had to get knocked down so many times and lift my head back up and say, I'm just going. But the principal thing is just start. Hope you're writing it down. You're keeping it in your head. What is everything? Number one, just start. I'm going to give you a couple of examples from my own past on just starting. Just when I was 26 years old or so, I came back from school and my father had just passed away and I inherited from him pickup. I'm the oldest child. Other children were still in school. So yeah, I had this pickup. I didn't know what to do with it. I was trying to help my other family members to manage their farms, so I was going up and down. And one day, the manager at Firestone, where I will go to sell rubber for grandmothers, said, well, why don't you broker rubber for us? So what does that mean? He said, buy rubber from smallholders and bring it and sell it to us. Look at it, I sat down, a calculator, and one secret about me, and I will get to that, is number 4 in my rules. I always have a calculator with me. Always. Y'all got it on your phone, so y'all got it easy. I always have a calculator. I used to have, I started the calculator that they bought for me when I was in 10th grade. One of the price calculators. I had to go and collect money for all the family members to be able to buy it. $100 at that time. Way back in the distant past. But and I started brokering rubber. Within 7 or 8 months, and I tried different things. First, I was brokering for Firestone. I was not making money. Every month, I couldn't make my quota. Then I found another guy who was another company that was doing rubber closer to where I have my farm and where I was operating and where I used to partner pickup in Wheeler or Allen Grant. For those of you who can remember way back that time. Firestone used to close at 3 o'clock sharp. If your truck is not there, your pickup 99, 3 o'clock, forget it. You will go carry that rubber and eat it away at your pickup until the next day when you come back. And in fact, they wouldn't allow you to park it. So you have to carry off their plantation. These guys come there midnight. They will collect your rubber. Give you cash twice in the morning, 7 o'clock. Give me your cash. So I failed the first time, Firestone. I started succeeding with Allen Grant. Within 7 months of working for Allen Grant, just around that time the war was coming. My net profit from my business, my net profit that I was putting in my pocket unsaved, I paid all the salaries and everything, pay all the farmers, pay all my debts, pay against the new figures and things I was doing. Net profit, I was making more money dollar-wise than I am now as Minister of Agriculture. And I'm talking about in the 80s. My net profit. That's just one example. So just start this. The second one is try new ways to do things. Look at all of the different opportunities, and here I will give you another example. Recently, we've been having problems with poultry farmers and egg producers. The price of feed has gone up so high, $35, $40 for a bag of feed, that people went out of business. Many poultry farmers went out of business. They kept on saying, well, how can we get cheaper feed? So people are trying to feed the animals different things. Well, a small group of entrepreneurs, one of them said, but we do not have to feed chickens with corn. Chickens are raised all over the world. Who said corn is grown all over the world? But the first people who packaged feed and started selling it say, oh, your chicken feed must have corn inside. Chicken didn't say so. That's that entrepreneur somewhere way back who said so. So they started experimenting with things that are available locally. With cassava, with fermenting the cassava like we do for fufu. All kinds of different things, adding in different things, peanuts, palm kernel cake, this, that, and the other. The interesting one with oyster shells. and all putting it in there to give different sources of it. And the chickens were growing. The first experiments, they are still underway. We people form one separate chat group. And there, that's the kind of thing that entrepreneurs do. They look at a problem, a challenge, and in it, they don't see only challenge. Hey, okay, let my chicken sit on, they will die. I will not do chicken business anymore. I'll go do something else. I'll go buy pepper or again. They look at the problem and they are solving it. And so now we're experimenting. We've got so many different types of feed that we're experimenting with to try to see how we can use local products to manufacture feed for our chickens. How they will grow or not, and we learn from that. That's the entrepreneurial spirit. So try new ways to do things. You have problems. I've heard this all the time, long before I became minister. Uh, yeah, we bring our goods to the market, farmers complaining, and we don't have storage place, so we are forced to accept low prices for our goods. One young man, I'm not talking too much about him, but one young man came to me and said, there's this empty spot right here in the building that they say I can use it. And I want to set up some ice boxes and things that I can store, some freezers and ice boxes that I can store the market people produce when they bring it to the market, that they can keep it there so it can be 2 or 3 days for it. That's entrepreneurship. I sponsor him. The last I heard, he was doing very well, but then he started branching off into water production to supplement in case the market people did not bring in any produce or whatever. And from there, he will grow. So food preservation, y'all see the problem. Y'all see the problem in the market. Y'all see the problem of trash around the city. Trash, food waste, waste. It's a market opportunity. And I'm glad I see some people here like Green Gold among them who are looking at the waste. Well, way back when I knew them back in 2017, 2018, and what they were looking at, they were going to the different woodworking shop and collecting the wood chips and turning that into compost and fertilizer. All the things here that they waste, I just told you about banana peel, orange peel. All of you squeeze, if you get orange peel and you squeeze it, you get something to squeeze it, it will, you will get what they call an essential oil, orange oil from the orange peel. So the orange sellers, they'll be peeling the orange very nicely. They think right there, sometimes on the tray, the orange sitting on the orange peel. Collect that orange peel from them because all they're going to do is throw it away. Squeeze it, get that essential oil out of it. Years ago, when I checked, essential oil per ounce from orange peel was something like about $85 per ounce. You don't know how much an ounce is. It's a very, very tiny amount. That's on the global market. But even here, all these people who are making hair products, cosmetics, this and that, to get the essential oil out of that orange peel that we throw away, it's a market opportunity. So try new ways to do things. Add value to your crops. Yeah. Just buying and selling, not entrepreneurship, but trading. When you add value to it, you can take the next step. I see Marcos Foods and Nas Natural are here. There are others. Liberian pure honey. Marcos Foods, yeah. Where is she? My mom. She's not yet? Okay, well, she only this year anyway. She was working in, she told her story, she was working in Pinkberry. She was a server. And I can tell you, I marked her because every time I came inside there, she would greet me from behind and, hey, yeah, my minister, so and so and so. No, today we don't have this one, but this one is better. I said, girl, you should reach out to me from the door to start selling the product that she was doing. She benefited from one grant from the Ministry of Agriculture last year, January or February, $500. She used that money to buy a blender. And she started processing fruits that she would get from the market, making smoothies. Today, she has 2 or 3 shops. One of them is at Royal. One is on Benson Street, I think one on Tupo Road, Rehab Road, or something like that. Today, from a $500 grant. And she just applied for it. How did she get to Royal? Royal Hotel, where people are staying and so forth. She went to the woman and she said, I have this product and I'm looking for a place. She was bold and she got it. I said, okay, yeah, it's outside. She did it. Very, very proud of that. Now it's not because they look at it and say, for some of us who travel a lot, you go abroad and you buy products. Me, I'm one of them. Buy products for your hair or your clothes or your skin or whatever. And you see African black soap. So I said, what's the name African black soap? And all the major cosmetics firms in the world are making something using what they call African black soap. Some of it is jet black. Some of it not so black, or whatever. African black soap. I saw the woman passing around with a waiter on her head. African black soap, the real thing. That's not to look at shea butter and all the other things that you can buy in the market and say, I'm going to make my own cosmetics. J-Palm did the same thing. There's so many that are doing that. That's what you call adding value to what is commonly available that you overlook. Today, I don't buy the things that from abroad. I buy them from here. Because I in Africa, why I going to America or Europe to go buy African black soap from African black soap is here. And people are making the products. The fourth thing is linked to the fifth thing. Do your numbers. Management and accounting. How much you put inside the right pocket and how much you take out of the left pocket. Every single day, you have to know it. If you don't know it, all the other things may be correct in your business, but you will fail. If you don't understand, and that's the fifth thing, if you don't understand your business and how much money you are making per day or from each item that you put in, that you purchase, if you don't understand how that is contributing, how much you spending on packaging, on processing, you will fail. You might not fail right away, but you will fail eventually. So that's the fourth and fifth things. Understand your business, do your numbers, do them well. The sixth thing is for entrepreneur, don't just have one hustle. Here I will talk about again, fresh to go. And now one thing she produces, let her back there. I told her she inspired me once to do my packaging better. Then she came back and she started doing her own things. And now she got the packaging, everything right. Don't just do one thing. See how you can diversify your hustle. You might have more than one hustle. There's green gold. I told you they were making charcoal. They started making bookstores. Then they started looking at other markets and things producing fertilizer and all of that. That's entrepreneurship. Don't just have one hustle because depending on that one thing, something happen, everything will be done. The last one is invest and adopt technology. Technology will make the work easier. I told you about Marco Fucci went and bought a blender. Instead of sitting down there cutting everything piece to beat it by hand is possible. But she bought the machinery that can help her to do it. That's a this restaurant that's here. They invested in delivery services, not a motorbike. I'm not forgetting the name of the restaurant. Right outside here. What's it called? Okay, well, okay, Lodge Price. They invested in the next area. To do that, to do delivery, you have a database, you have to maintain a database, you have to use their tools, technology, etc. Invest in technology and adopt technology that will work. Those are the 7 rules I want to leave for you. I congratulate all of you for being here today and for being entrepreneurs. Uh, there's space in the agricultural sector for agripreneurs, and not just farming we want you to do. So plenty of space. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for speaking to us. Please give a big hand clap to our Honorable Minister. We are so grateful for the messages and it's now time for our first final discussion. So our moderator is Christopher Adesua.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Susie Adeswa, and I'm the founder of Lunchbox. Lunchbox is right back where we work with smart Liberia to produce food and deliver it also to professionals in Monterey. I also used to work for Mercica as the Enterprise Development Innovation Manager. So I was part of the team that put this together. And now I've moved on to Orange. So I work now at Orange Tax Supervisor. It's a corporate acceleration program, also in similar work like Mercica, dedicated to building next generation of like great entrepreneurs. So today I was asked by Tribe and Mercica to moderate a session on entrepreneurship and sustainability. And on my panel, I have Mr. Wilton Duncan, who is the CEO of Champions Design. Is he here yet? And I also have Saka Wahab from Najos. Saka is currently one of the winners of the Mercica International Results Grant. So we will both will be discussing entrepreneurship and sustainability. All right, so before we begin, I would like my fellow panelists to introduce themselves briefly, tell us about the work they're doing and how long they've been doing it. So,
Hello, my name is Sata Waka, and I'm the founder of NAS Naturals. So at NAS Naturals, we're into making natural hair care products from natural ingredients like shea butter, which is local food as coconut oil, palm kernel oil, and just a list of other natural ingredients. We're focused on this sector because our goal is to use it as a tool for women empowerment in Africa, potentially. So we've been doing this for a little over 4 to 5 years now, and I'm just excited to talk about entrepreneurship.
Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Gokam Duncan. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Champion Designs, Liberia's leading printing, advertising, and marketing company. I'm also the General Manager of Robert's Farm, where we rear tilapia and also the farm oil palm. We're located in Lakita districts. Aside from these two portfolios, I manage waste disposal company for advanced disposal services, and I'm a business strategist. I'm a marketing consultant, and I lecture business development, corporate communications at the Institute for Practical Professional Studies in Kingsville. And on my part-time basis, I'm the host and convener of a program called CEO Chat that brings Liberians, entrepreneurs, developers to talk about trending entrepreneur issues and some of the challenges we face. I'm excited to be here to share my experiences, and I hope we can have this kind of interaction as often as possible so that we can always sharpen our minds wherever necessary.
Wow, that's a really huge portfolio, right? Yeah. So there's a saying that entrepreneurs find solutions to society's problems, and deep down, some of us do believe that many of the problems that exist because entrepreneurs have not made solving them their business strategy. So how would you respond to this prompt in the context of you being an entrepreneur and considering the problems that your business or intervention are actually?
Restate, sir. Restate.
So there's a saying that entrepreneurs find solutions to society's problems. And deep down, most of us do believe that many of the problems that exist because entrepreneurs have not made solving in their business priorities. So how would you respond to this in the context of you being an entrepreneur and considering the problems that your many ventures are trying to solve?
Well, I think first and foremost, I see problems as opportunities for growth. And prior to coming here, I was reading a couple of stats because as entrepreneurs, before you make a decision, it must be bottom in stats. You must, like the Minister of Agriculture, having a calculator is very essential. You should know your stats. So I was reading a couple of stats about Africa. And I'm always passionate about not just thinking Liberian, but thinking globally. So by 2050, the people you see in the room here, the average age is around 20. By 2050, that's 28 years from now, the average person here will be like 48 years. You'll still be alive, strong. By 2050, Africa's population will double. You'll have like 2.5 billion people. That's a huge problem. Problem with feeding the citizens, problem with housing the citizens, problem with healthcare, because with more people, you have health issues, and everything will be a problem. So how can I, or how can you as an entrepreneur leverage that problem as an opportunity to think globally? The first thing is, what do you have as a resource? Many times when we think about resource, we just fixate our mind on finance. But a resource is more than finance. You have time. Now, we live in a democratized society where every information that you need is available. That's a resource. What are you using with even your network, your local connection, whether you're at school, whether you're in a church, whether you in a community, what are you using for those resources? Before thinking about finances, think about what resources you have. So start to think about these resources that I have, how can I leverage them to solve the global problems that I have? And in my experience, COVID, and this is very recent, and I'm sure every business person in this room was faced by COVID. What COVID taught me about running business and businesses is do not always think about today and tomorrow. Think about today, think about tomorrow and the day after. Because you can predict tomorrow, but it's difficult to predict the day after. And thinking about predicting the day after goes beyond just saving the regular percentage, or I'll say after our spend. How many business people in this room can say, I have an emergency plan, financial plan? That is very key. How many businesses can say, out of all of my earnings, this is what I will use for making capital investment in the next 3 or 5 years? Many of the Liberian businesses, they understand profit as when I finish spending the money that will be left, that's profit. That's how they understand profit. But if you go beyond that layer, that understanding profit and profitability is not about just saving after you spend, or saving with the goal and mindset of investing. So what we have done at our institution, Champion Designs, we realized that the printing sector has been inundated. There's a lot of people doing printing now. So we said, okay, this is what we'll do. For capital investment, since people are doing paper printing and graphic designing here, there, and yonder, we invest in billboards. And so we have the largest billboard in Nigeria, all across. So that is an asset, that's an investment. Before you counter that, then that's almost 5 years from now. And whilst you're thinking about countering that, we also pay another thing. And so in addition to that, we've also invested in technology. So in the coming months to come, we have a whole digital platform that will be rolling out for businesses and partners that will subscribe to the services that we offer in terms of advertising. So just to sum up, problems are opportunities to grow. They are opportunities to see different solutions to opportunities.
All right. So problems are opportunities. And as an entrepreneur, we should always be open to spotting the problem so that we can create solutions for them. And also, as an entrepreneur, we always look for ways to make income, additional income. So if you're solving a problem for somebody, the person will be willing to pay you. That will also support you. So that's very good. Now, for my next post, I will address this with you. So that's natural has been around how many years? 5 years. 5 years. And so in that 5 years, what's the end result of your business? So can you just share with us as an entrepreneur, what have you done to make it sustainable, keep growing, and find new customers over the years?
I think over the years, what have kept me is more or less the communities that I attach myself to, right? For example, when I started last night, it was in 2016, 2017, I applied for the Smart Library Gift program that supports like female entrepreneurs just starting. So I got my first $1,000 grant investment in Smart Library. Fast forward in 2017, I was able to be selected as the first anti-shop fellow from Liberia. Over 10 years of the anti-shop fellowship running in South Africa. So basically, the anti-shop fellowship brings together young entrepreneurs, 1%. So every year they take it off young entrepreneurs from around Africa to go to South Africa, the African Leadership Academy, where you go through this very intense 2 weeks of training. And that 2 weeks of training, that 2 weeks of being on the African Leadership Academy campus taught me a lot. When you wake up in the morning, no one is there. Like you're in high school, right? No one is there to tell you you're ready. People are dedicated to what you do without people even asking. Because at the end of the day, You believe in what you're doing. You believe that this particular thing I'm doing is solving a problem, not just for me, not just for my community, but potentially the continent as a whole. So you invest so much time into that. So I came back. When I came back to Liberia in 2017, with all of the knowledge that I had acquired from the I started with a big book. Because at that time, we had just one product when we started. It was just one product. We were selling just one product. So over time, when I realized that I could do more, like that's not just do more for Liberia and do more for Africa as a whole, I'm like, okay, then we can produce more products, we can grow this into another level. So fast forward, I applied for the Restore grants as well. And I'm getting like a great investment for Restore now, right? So at the end of the day, it's about the communities you're attached to, it's about the support system you create for yourself. I have a friend group of 4 people, and we tend to challenge each other, right? You don't necessarily have to all the time be looking up to the big people, like people in your friend group. That if your friends are not challenging you to do the right things, and you have to think about your friends. And then also have mentors, mentorship program. Reach out to people that are in similar fields and ask them questions. When I started as an actress, I reached out to Mahmoud. Mahmoud was already into the industry before I started. I reached out to Mahmoud, we did a partnership together, and he advised me. So it's, even though you're competitors, it's also like we're in this ecosystem together. How can we, as youth people in the beauty industry or businesses in the beauty industry, survive this survival we're doing? So basically, that's the 3 important things for me. That's great.
So this new definition of entrepreneurship is all about innovation, right? It's about seeing problems as opportunities. It's about changing the world, right? But then it takes a lot more than these great ideas and this desire to want to change the world to really make your business fit work. So next thing we want to look at is the kind of environment that we're operating in. How is it like as a business owner running your business in this Liberian business environment? What are some of the challenges and how are you guys navigating it?
Well, Liberia is a very unique country. Unique in the sense that we have a hospitable population, but yet and still we have a complacent population. And I will speak from an inside-out perspective. From the inside, people are well-intentioned to do things. If you convene a summit of Liberians, policy makers, they will craft the best policies ever. They will come up with the best recommendations ever. But the problem is to move from recommendation or from policy to implementation. That is our problem in Liberia. Let me give you my experience. The 1975 business registration law outlines several businesses that are exclusively to be operated by Liberians, meaning only Liberian people are supposed to do this kind of business. Amongst these businesses include ice cream selling, taxi driving, printing, and you can name a whole lot. To our utmost surprise, and I will need them here because this is the essence of these kind of forums. I'm into printing. Printing, especially commercial printing, should be exclusively for Liberian nationals. In Liberia, we got companies that are owned and operated by foreigners. And they are stifling the business environment for us Liberian printers. We have a Chinese printing business right opposite 8 or 9th Street, owned and operated by Chinese. We have another one, they call them international printers. Now, we have these laws on the board, but to move from policy to implementation has been our problem. So, we are saying if you want the Liberianization Act to be active and functional and realistic, you must move from policy or framework document to action. You must start to go and ensure that these businesses are in accordance with what you have in the printed paper. And I'm sure that my sister here in the beauty care industry will be faced with similar problems. Let me give you an example of what this costs for us. If you're an ordinary Liberian business owner, you suffer firstly lack of access to capital. You have a very small market. These foreign business people, they have access to capital. They have markets. And they will do whatever printing they can print in their country, and then they bring it at our people. They have huge connections, big connections, and then they clear off. But we, the small people, the regular Liberian, and you don't have big connections. You don't have people outside printing for you or doing packaging. So someone like Nas Natural has to struggle to pay for her packaging because she doesn't have access to finance to do superior packaging. That's a problem. And in Liberia, we tend to sugarcoat it or tend to say, yeah, it's not happening. But these are the issues. Until our people who are in the stakeholding areas in government can start to do, and I was hoping that one of the candidates, the Deputy Minister for Small Businesses, I'm hoping that she's here. That particular division, I think they need to step up their game when it comes to business inspection. Because we small or medium-sized Liberian businesses, we're not protected. The foreign-owned businesses are stepping on our necks, and we have to talk about it because that's the only way stakeholders will hear it. If you want Nas Natural to be a yearly $1 million revenue-generating company, it is not by giving her funding like 5,000. Do you know what to do? Is to look at her competition and say, you are foreign owned, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do this, you can only operate as an investor and not as a retailer. That is what to do. What also to do is to look at Nas Natural and say, in all of the supermarkets and stores in Liberia, we'll make it a policy that you have an exclusive shop for Liberian owned products. That's how to do it. All of the supermarkets, whether it is owned by Indian, Lebanese, Chinese, once it's a supermarket, you have shelves exclusively for Liberian owned or produced products. That's how to empower these young people. Give them distribution channels. The reason Amazon and other distribution channels are strong, it is because their governments are enabling them, giving them the leveraging space so that their products and services are distributed. Why can't we in Liberia enable our people, give them distribution opportunities? I usually say this. First-time entrepreneurs, you are excited about your product. Oh yes, that's natural. Black soap, it cleanses the face, it makes you shine brighter. You think that all there is in entrepreneurship? No, you have to make money. So what about packaging? What about distribution? Have you thought about that? What about even expansion? Now you have the Nano River Union, you have Sierra Leone, you have Guinea, you have Africa. But in order to reach those vast markets, you need to be empowered by your local government. The way to do that is to give you more teeth so that you can buy.
He made a lot of points, similar to almost everything I was going to say, but just to add to what he said. Talking about distributions, right? Right now, when you go into the supermarkets, when you ask for, he just said like people should have shelves for Liberian products, right? The shelves that they have for Liberian products in the supermarkets are all the way at the back, where you pass around in the entire supermarket and you can see one Liberian product at either shop. So it's not even telling them have Liberian products in your store. It's making sure that Liberian products are being showcased, that when people walk in, they can easily see made in Liberia and be proud about made in Liberia. And then also, what I would like to add to that, right? building entrepreneurship in the country, building it's an ecosystem. You have stakeholders, you have the entrepreneurs, and it's coming together in understanding that we can make the policy for these entrepreneurs and businesses to grow, and also the entrepreneurs doing the work all the time, right? You have the Liberianization law, right? Liberians can do this and this and this business. But how about businesses that Liberians are currently doing that, for example, the beauty industry, you can list up to 10 local businesses that are producing beauty products. But we have to spend most of our time not competing with each other, but competing with imported brands that are coming in, and people go to these countries and they get them for very cheap, and you have to bring your prices down to match these imported brands. So it's all of these things that you think about, you think about, and it's like, so I'm currently in the phase of raising money to grow my business and expand out. I've spoken to 4 investors, and one question they all ask is, why are you producing Liberia? The only reason I'm producing Liberia is because I want my products to be made in Liberia. I don't get my raw materials from here. I don't get my packaging materials from here. It doesn't make any sense to be producing in Liberia based on just your business plan, right? So it's, why are you producing Liberia? DHL has reached out to me to ship my products out of Liberia so many times, but I can't ship my products out of Liberia through DHL because DHL started this small business program. Only because the stimulus in Liberia is not working. You take your products there, they can test, and DHL is saying we can't take your products out of Liberia if you do not have any kind of certification. So all of these things have to come into play. They have to be intentional and not just keep saying, oh, we're giving $5,000 grant to small business. It doesn't help anything at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, and I think before we close, I just want to add one more point. A lot of people complain about small businesses. They say, oh, your service is not good, your products are not up to standards, but how do we grow if we do not have the support of you, our consumers? We're selling to you. We sell food, we sell healthcare, skincare, hair care. We sell a lot of things like our own business. And we may not be perfect, at least not yet, but if you don't have your support, if you don't consistently patronize our business, if you don't post about it on social media, if you use our service and you enjoy it, you don't give us the recommendation, we'll never be able to reach the market. So while we are looking to the government to create an enabling environment, we're also looking to you guys. You guys should be more supportive. When people start new businesses, you guys should promote them. Even if the business will last for 3 months, even if the idea is unrealistic, the fact that we have for people, we employ them, we buy their products, we enable them to do more, to go after more. We push them, we tell them, okay, this what you're doing is good, but you can do more. You give honest feedback. You don't just go on social media to criticize. I've seen a lot of posts on social media criticizing businesses. They will take pictures of your product and they will just write all kinds of stuff about you on social media. It's wrong. You kill people's spirit when you do that. You make the person don't want to do business, don't want to venture. And then we complain that our youth are sitting down and not doing anything. How do we do it if you're not supporting us? If you can take your $50 and say, okay, since you say you want to do this business, here is $50, let me invest in your business. We're not doing it, so how are we going to grow? Other places, it takes a collective effort, the community, the banks, the government, everybody come together and say, the only way our country is going to grow is if we empower local business. So going from here to today, that is my one challenge I'm going to give to all of you. That you should leave here today dedicated to supporting small businesses. It doesn't matter how bad the service is. Just, you can DM the person and tell them, okay, I purchased this thing, it was like this. But you can do this, and make it better. Let each of us be intentional about buying Liberian. Because that's the only way we're going to build Liberia. We spend our money locally, and we give it to the local producers, they're going to grow their businesses and we'll have more entrepreneurial activities. So that's my challenge for you, and I hope that you take me on this challenge. So we've reached the end of this panel discussion, and now it's time for question and answers. So if you have any questions that you want to ask the panelists, now it's your chance.
Well, there's one of the thing for a nice presentation. Yeah, doing something good. I went to the second speaker to just mention something. So what have you, before I asked the mission about this, what have you been going to gain customers' attention? Like you just said that if somebody gives you a grant, it doesn't work, it doesn't help. So as an entrepreneur, before you go into any business, I think there's the factors of take into consideration. I want to competition market, you get it, and then how you intend to beat the competition. So getting bread and saying that it doesn't work, doesn't help. Also, the strategies you bring to put in place, like getting some little stuff to keep operating. That's one of the strategies you bring on.
So your question is, what are we doing to attract customers into our brand? So as a small business, I can't emphasize enough the importance of social media. Using social media as a tool that you do not have to spend as much on to market your products. Using word of mouth, right? So when I started my business, I wasn't even using social media. I was just giving my products out to my friends would buy my product, and then my friends would tell the next person. And that's how people got to know it on that side. When social media came in, we started using like literally all the social media platforms to grow our brand. But also just to what you were saying, right? I wasn't necessarily just saying that financing is not helpful. It is. But if somebody gives you money and you do not have the skills and the knowledge, and you do not have the right ecosystem to help you understand what you need as a small business, what you need to use that money on, you end up using that money and at times not even understanding where the money went, what you spend the money on, and the outcome of that money. So having and receiving grants in financing is one aspect. Making sure that you have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have the community to help you invest that money in your business, that when you sit back and say, oh, I got this rent and I invested in this and this and this, it's like it's better, right? And not just you get it. Yes, any three questions.
Thank you. My name is Boston Peace. I am the Secretary of Shift. Also, I run a leadership institute and I also teach payroll. Now, our reality is fantasy. We have a lot of challenges. We can complain, or we can figure out how to overcome them. Now, I don't have a question per se, but just some contributions to share. One thing I've seen is that we need to up our customer service quality. And to do that, understanding the consumer, as complex as the Liberian consumer is, in order to regulate it, this is a unique environment. These are unique consumers. Sometimes the principles applying in environments may not be exactly applicable here with us. One of the most effective ways I've seen business move is to learn, is person to person. I know growing in the States, one of the most effective ways I get sales was every single day, every single day. And building a brand while there's existing other brands to compete with makes it even harder. If you have no competition in that area, it's easier. But then you have. For example, my kind of business I do with berries, I build communities as a nonprofit. I'm talking about great communities. Instead into that is a whole agricultural system, an urbanized system. That's different because no one's doing that over yet. But then on the other end, I manufacture honey. But I have a Berkeley honey as a competitor. They have gone ahead of me and almost like tackled the market. So innovation becomes very key again, using customer service. What do people want that they don't have yet? Right? Instead of giving what they already have and try to convince them to take what you're getting, that's what the other person's getting. So what we've done, we're taking honey and process mixtures of honey. So we can offer you how to combine with banana syrup, you combine with extracts of garlic and pepper spice and everything. So it becomes different, but then also my capacity to reach out to you as a consumer and the quality of the relationship I will build with you will be the convincing factor. See, I can't just push my product on you. The quality of the time spent with me will persuade the purchase of my product because it's a relationship. It's not just a product when it comes to you. Like people will buy from you because they know you, they will buy a product because they believe in you. So I think we should also step up to that degree as well of customer service and quality that will help our businesses as well. Saying to that, I love what you said, Sam, because I don't believe that as producers and manufacturers, our number one market is not Liberia. Now, we do serve our countries, we're supposed to, but we're supposed to produce and serve other environments. So that should also serve as a perspective, right? So your major market should not be where you're producing from. Yes, the market where you are should definitely have what you're producing, but for the sake of profitability, you're looking outside. Even when it comes to agriculture, what we are growing here, and this is to feed ourselves, we are actually going to feed other nations what we have. And the residue of that remains for us, especially if it's not something that is our staple, right? Like rice and tea. So my advice that I think I see is a little shift in our perspective as well. Working together is absolutely relevant, is key, is essential. Coming together, combining ideas and resources, and leveraging already, and just the perspective you have and experiences you have already. How do you take this and make it a natural environment in the country? So every other young person who's coming up can have access to that spark that gets them started, have access to both of you and be able to take from you knowledge and experience, not by just going through it, but by having someone say to you, this cost me 5 years, but I can give it to you in a moment, right? So thank you for this forum also. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much. Please, question 1 minute.
Good afternoon to you. To listen before you, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. I say this because I'm not doing it in detail, so I'm still aspiring. But to welcome and gather the CEO of National Naturals, I'm wholeheartedly impressed by the level of power you guys are doing. When I went to the program, I saw another entrepreneur benefited from the 2-year entrepreneurship program. I just completed, didn't make it to the shortlisted for the business communication stage. However, I was told that at the end of the month, I'm going to receive a certificate. So the thing here is that I'm aspiring, I have very passion for entrepreneurship. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to become an entrepreneur. So, like last night, I was saying, she's hoping that one day she should have put out of the question is, how can I, the other person, get let's brother take our strength and what we can support you with together and make these things move on.
Thank you. Was there a question?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody.
So I'm here like throughout the program we can talk and just thank you for bringing out the issue of networking. Networking is very important. When we come together as young entrepreneurs, we should be able to make use of the network we have in the room, right? Today I'm sitting on the panel with him. Tomorrow I can reach out to him, hey, I'm printing my labels, please print my labels. Make sure that you talk to the people in the room, people that are around you because So please, I'm here. Anybody can reach out to me. I'll share my number. I'll share my email. I'll share my social media. And then so you will.
All right, so we reached the end of this session and hope you guys have a good day. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to everyone for your questions.
Thank you so much to our first panelists. And those of you who did not ask questions, we have another discussion. You will ask all your questions, please. Okay, before Rahma will give us a recap. minutes, please.
Good morning. Okay, hello. Quick recap from the speaker and the panel discussion. So the speaker spoke on entrepreneurship, and then she's Minister Cooper. Some of the highlights from the discussion she had. We got number one, she said value chain and processing of food and agricultural products. So where she's talking about how you can some of the money you get out of some of the money you get out of things today, instead of using fertilizer, you can use organic material to do your products or to do your production as required. So she said competitive profitability. She will engage you how you can use competitive profitability in your business, applying that will be profitable to you. Okay, she gave the 7 rules. She said, number 1, just start. 2, try new ways to do things. She gave the scenario of the chicken feed. And then she said, add value to your crops or your products. So adding value to your crops or your products is important in entrepreneurship. She said, buying and selling is not entrepreneurship. But she said, adding value to your product or production, it is an entrepreneurship. Okay? She said again, number 4, understanding your business. So understanding your business and understanding the market you do your business is important. Because what if you're selling chicken feed at Royal Hotel? That's business. I mean, business. So number 5, she said, do your numbering right. So know how to apply the calculations correctly to your businesses. And then she said, don't just do one thing. Diversify your hustle. So diversify your hustle. Don't do one business model. You can add, more than 2, 3 business models as you go along. And then she said in number 7, she said invest and adopt technology in your businesses. Okay? And then the panel discussion, it was with Duncan Matthew points. He said problems are opportunity to grow. And then he said, you think about today, tomorrow, and the future. So your business should not be cycled around here today and tomorrow, but things will come. He get a scenario of COVID. What COVID did to businesses in the world. Okay? He said emergency financial management. So instead of you just doing profit and loss, you have to look at emergency financial management. And then Santa from NASA just said, she gave me a scenario, like she gave me a experience on how she came, into business and how she succeeded to the point she is right now. She's talking about access to finance or the president from Smart Liberia. She said you should create the right connection with opportunists. Okay, so we are competitors. She said, though we are competitors, she's giving the scenario with Mahmoud Johnson. Though we are competitors, we are also working in an ecosystem together, which will strengthen the businesses in Liberia. Okay, then the next point where they're highlighting challenges facing Liberia, Mr. Duncan said we need to move from policy or framework to implementation. With the example he gave with sole Liberian businesses. So he gave an example that there are certain businesses that Liberians are supposed to do only, exclusively for Liberians. Okay, and then he said number 2, access to financing for local businesses. And then number 3, he said protection for Liberian-owned businesses. So instead of foreigners working as retailers, he said foreigners should work as investors. Okay, distribution opportunities. Everybody gave the scenario where distribution opportunity is important in supermarket and everywhere else. So lastly, Sadat contributed and said, in Liberia, we need to standardize our products so we can go international. Okay, so Crystal Lee also emphasized on how Liberians can support as a community to businesses and how we can be intentional as entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the recap. We can take 2 minutes, walk around break for the next panel discussion, please. Two minutes, walk around break.
So she can stay with us. We are at Single Direction Road, Second Street, in Monrovia, Liberia, where Mexico is holding a Liberian Youth Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Program. And, young Liberians here will be telling their own stories. We get that through the first panel discussion. And after the very short walk around break, we'll be coming for the second panel discussion. So she can stay with us as we bring you live happening here at Smart Liberia Changemaker Village on the Jarlaton Road. Then at many times everybody will be seated again. We can go straight into the second panel discussion. So I would like to tour you maybe around, see some of the new places. Here.
It's the music now.
Thank you. Different businesses. Yeah. Different Liberian businesses. These people were empowered.
Go in, please.
Still trying to get back in.
Please go in.
Please come in. Please come in.
So welcome back. People have been seated for the second part of the discussion. Just take and stay with us as we bring you live the happening at the Smart Liberia Villager. Change makers.
Welcome back from the shop break. Those of you out there, please come in. Okay, we have our second panel discussion. The moderator is the winner and queen. So please come in.
Okay, you want to do a little bit of checking? Everybody still? Everybody still feeling good?
Yeah. Hey, good night, going. One word, how you been going so far? One word, done. One word, how you feel, how the program is going? Great. Yeah. Another word. Great. One of.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Okay, so the second panel is about action plans. We heard a conversation about how these very wonderful entrepreneurs have managed to make the business thrive over 5 or 10 years in the last under very difficult circumstances. And so right now we are bringing together people from international development, Liberian Chamber of Commerce, which I'm sure people here haven't heard about as well, or know as much about. I'm also very interested in learning more about the Chamber of Commerce as well. And a renowned Liberian entrepreneur who will kind of talk about access finance. I know when the session was going, I was like, I'm going to be on the first panel, but I'm like, oh, fine. Second one will be okay too. We'll see how far they utilize this. So without further ado, I will call John from ESID, and then I will start from Liberian Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to go to the main one.
Yeah, I heard about looking at you guys, so you can. Okay, thank you very much. And over the next, I think, 45 minutes, we will try to cover as much as we can. I'll give you a background because these are very big and wonderful people. So I had to do a little research to understand exactly what we're talking about today and prepare some prompts to facilitate the discussion. So John is the Director of Economic Development at USAID. Samuel is the Secretary General of the Liberation of Commerce, and the CEO for Liberia. And so we are looking at international development and seeing how there's been a number of challenges when it comes to entrepreneurship in Liberia recently. And from an international development perspective, the support has really been towards government priorities, right? But over the last year, we've seen that there's an increased rate of unemployment, unemployment. And so we're trying to understand, is there a reconsideration around how can development partners support entrepreneurship both directly and what that looks like? So I don't know, perhaps you don't talk about that. And from the Liberation of Commerce, we understand the same perspective because Chamber of Commerce work with government, development partners, and the private sector. And so we want to see that what does that shift look like from that perspective and how are they really considering small businesses in the planning for national impact. Then there's an entrepreneur who will really talk about now how that's able to access and serve
opportunities. And so I have a very first question on my So I'll start with John first. So each of the panelists will have 5 minutes to elaborate on each of the prompts. And after that, I will follow the question and then we'll take the question. All right, so John, where's your first?
So I think your question to me is about the shift, right? Yeah. So we, Clea and I were talking about the shift from a very government focus and how development partners are looking at how can we be more directly involved in private sector businesses. And I think I'd start by saying, is there even in fact a shift? Can you hear me? Everybody can hear? Yeah, okay. So I think it's important to first start out by saying, you know, from USAID, we are a government agency, and our relationship and our partnership here for 60 years is a partnership with Liberia and the people who work with the government. And in that partnership in the economic growth area where I cover, is really about jobs, building the economy, economic expansion. Share that goal with government of Liberia, we share that goal with people. And I think the last panelist talked about it a lot, or at least touched on it, but the business environment tends to be something we talk about with the government. From our government, how can we help the government of Liberia to build a better business environment so that businesses can thrive and prosper and create jobs and invest. But I think, as we also talked about on the last panel, it's maybe not as effective as it could be. A lot of good policies on the books here, and then the implementation isn't always good. So where does the shift come in for us? I think, you know, we and the government of Liberia want to see jobs. We want to see a building economy. We want to see businesses. So we've learned a few things along the way. First, this is a business environment. So who should be involved in the conversation? Businesses. And so we have to bring that conversation down and talk to you all, because it's your environment that you're up. You're trying to build a business. So you're your own best advocates. We've got to figure out how to work that into our program. Second, and we talk about it a lot, but the private sector, you all are truly the engine of economic development. It's not a government agency talking about a government agency that's going to drive economic growth. It's your success. So we have to, again, figure out how are we fueling that engine, how are we creating opportunities. I think U.S. government, other development partners often get very prescriptive, where we come in with our programs and we say, we want somebody to do this, this, and this, and therefore we will see growth. I think we do better when we say we have a challenge. Some of the other panelists talked about this. But when we have a challenge, a big challenge, like food security, for example, we put that out there as a challenge and say, what do you think? What do you think as Liberians, as businesses, as entrepreneurs, what do you think you can do to solve that challenge? And how can we support that? Rather than telling you what to do to solve that challenge, how can we support you in solving that big challenge? There are many other things. And then finally, the other thing that we need to do, and we're trying to do, is to take more risks. And often we're very careful. We only want to work with big partners. But we need to take more smaller risks. This, somebody said it before, Mr. Cooper touched on it, but we don't succeed without failing a lot. And so we want to take risks into failure. Your failure is our failure, but we all learn from that, and out of that we create success. So to answer the question, I mean, there is indeed a shift. It's not just USA. There's definitely a shift in development partners. But a little bit too, but we are trying to work more directly with the private sector. All of it. So what does it look like? And I want to tell you a little bit about that, and then we can take some questions too. But it looks like more co-investment, similar to the grants opportunities that Mercy Corps is running on this program and some others. More opportunities with USA, the U.S. government, other development partners, co-investment directly with entrepreneurs. It looks like pitch competition, challenges around these big issues, security, health issues, education. We need to get those out there so we can talk about it, innovate. And then one other point, I think Mr. Cooper always talks about this to me very well, is that we also need to work on supporting you with business support. So the things that are not, we're training a little bit of support, a little bit of mentoring, help on marketing, finance, but basically turning your great idea into a successful business. How can we support that? So I guess I'll just summarize and say we're going to continue to work with the government of Liberia. That is our relationship. Support that relationship where we share common goals and want to grow this economy. But we are also going to try to do that more directly.
Thank you very much. And you've heard that. And so international partners and I consider working together. So I just wanted to take this one real quick. And so heard this and heard and so some of the Liberian partners were at the set of all these different partners together. And so what role are you playing to ensure that this shifts like the Liberian economy? But I also want to be very specific to say that how we consider SMEs particularly. Because again, I was reading through number of reports on trust, and I see that there are bigger enterprises that so they are considered SMEs.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think it came by giving a little background of the origin of so we were established an act of legislature in 1951, so like not the oldest, but the city, most of the private sector primary advocates for businesses. Yeah, and what we do at Chamber of Commerce is that we advocate for we advocate their interests and we also connect them with initiative programs, development partners. We also grow these businesses by providing services that help with so this is what we see at the Chamber of Commerce. So back to your question, what is our role in ensuring that the shift benefits the entrepreneurs? So our key role as the Chamber is to advocate to ensure that the interest of our businesses is captured in government policies, reason policies, regulations. So we do this in various ways. So we have interactive dialogues, business dialogue, business forum, where we bring so it's either business development where we have policy requests to talk and speak on issues of interest for businesses. We all have business to business conversations and attitude. So we also do lobbying. We do not only advocate but also lobby for our businesses as well. So, for example, when they come up with some regulations probably from the Liberian authority or Ministry of Commerce or something like that, do not sit well with businesses or businesses have an interest whether it's conducive for the environment. So we raise this at the level of the then use of the Liberian authority to fight the regulations, ministries, or partners or regulators at the chamber in the final common ground. So we also find that this approach is helpful in procedures going around government initiatives and also help businesses to feel that their voice is considered. The voice is going to be doing sort of programs or policies that affect them.
All right. Just one follow-up question. So again, so there are a lot of small businesses here who are interested in knowing how as a small business or might consider as a housing program. And so is there a role of seed for small businesses in Nigeria? There's only one kind of businesses
indeed, there's space for small businesses at the Chico. In fact, we are in the process of reviewing our um, program outlook, and we will soon we are soon to embark upon a membership drive, and our target this time around with these small businesses, small enterprises. So we have in all agencies we have done a step further to reduce our membership dues, our yearly membership dues. So it used to be $350 per annum, but we have reduced that to $100, $250 based on the type of business position that you have. So this is to encourage migrant businesses, to come to join the children, because the children does not only cater to big or foreign businesses, but it's really support migrant businesses.
I'm also curious to understand. I'll come back to this. This project that we're saying. According to Mahmoud, you run JPON, and for several years, it has been well business. And so I'm unfortunate enough to experience some of the first responsibility of the company last year. And even with conversations from some of you beyond this space, people admire the work ethic and that. And so there's one question I have first. Do you think after about 9 years, almost 10 years, Avon is also saying, because at the work, every business is the point. And so if you can answer that question as a yes, no, then I have a question. I would say it's better. Is there a political entrepreneur? No, yes. So people know, a lot of people know Japan through our consumer facing products, people know the first product. But internally, the way we see Japan is a collection of several different. So we have product fresh, we have fresh food, other kind of fresh products on social media, and use them. And that business is profitable, it's sustainable by itself. What's sounds for that? It's a like great business, yo. But we have a bunch of new ideas that we're working on. And usually with these things, I'm sure most people who are in business will agree that when you start a new business, it takes a while for that business to become profitable. So usually you take money from investors or put your own money in until the business gets to the point where it can now start to fund itself. So what's happening now in JPAM is basically Prime Fresh is funding our other ideas. So we're working on a bunch of new projects. Those businesses will not start to generate revenue for 50 years. Or you still have to hire staff to work on those things now. You still have to go and maybe invest in building a factory, you still have to get equipment, you have to get, this is set those things up. And so at the moment, the resources to finance those new ventures are coming from one venture that is profitable to fund those ones. And then hopefully at some point in the future, those businesses and the entire company will go. But also, we talk about this conversation here about international development assistance and having national partners to help. And that's one key way that international institutions like USAID and others are helping is essentially by serving providing return wage capital, right? So between when you start a new business or start a new venture to the point where that idea now starts to generate profits, we keep putting money in it. And sometimes, yeah, we put kind of money in it, but sometimes some of these ideas that we're working on very capital intensive, and not being done, right? So the money that we pay from USAID, USAID, and others, two companies help us get to the point where these things become sustainable. Because I think we're doing businesses and we are doing partnerships with the national USAID, but that's not the goal, right? The goal is for businesses of people and fund this serious growth expansion. So in the interim, these kind of funds serve as catalysts or serve as, as I said earlier, like risk capital, low risk, but low risk because they are most times they are grants. They enable us to be able to make these kinds of huge bets on things that if they become successful or when they become successful. Thank you very much. And so I just start by looking by I want to start. And so again, I may be a victim of good marketing in the media, but I know of very few entrepreneurs, businesses in Liberia, right, that using student based grow and sustain consistently the progress and movement of the last year. And so my question here, and I'm sure what people are thinking is that yes, I have this business of 5 to 7 years, I only work. But I'm so confused how I'm going to even finance this nation, the assessment and most of the ideas that we have. And so as Mahmoud and with Dave, how we able to exploit opportunities in a good way and mobilize specifically financial resources that are able to power the economy to respond. Very practical. Right. Well, when I was talking about, you have to be real, right? You have to be very, very realistic about the environment that we're operating in. In other countries, you know this, people can do like a 10-page PowerPoint and go and raise $5 million. One page, one page, without doing a single product, right? Yeah, if you go to, if you look at the types of financing that are available to very limited. When we were starting our site in 2013, we were starting out with the bank, right? And when you go to the bank, you need to provide your financial statement, you need to see your 3 years of audited financial statements. Is that I just have this idea on who to see. You provide audited financial statements, you have to provide collateral, maybe 2 or 3 times the size of the loan that you're asking for. And most young entrepreneurs just don't have what it takes to get a bank loan. I mean, how many people at a house that you will use to get exactly, and also beyond that, even if you have these things, right? The nature of entrepreneurship is an element of risk. There's a possibility that it may not work. So even if the bank is going to give you a loan, right? You also have to think about how you're going to pay back this loan, because this is just an idea in your head. You don't even know if it's really good. For how long will it work? If they will give you a loan, they say, okay, you start paying back in 6 months time, that stuff. When in fact, they will take you like once you do it, over like 4 years, 5 years to get more to actually. If you do an instrument that you do like 5 years to pay back that loan, so we probably would have been in prison by now. So you have to be very realistic about the environment. And what I knew is that it was just not possible to get money through banks. The opportunity that I saw back then was that this shift that we're talking about now, at that time it was starting. We had all of these competitions, contests, business plan, programs, and things like that, where you go and pitch your business and say, oh, I want to do this, here's how I want to do it, here's what we've done so far. And that was the avenue that I saw for us to scale good business. And so it was almost like having to work backwards. So, okay, if you go and pitch in these competitions, in these contests, what are things that will make you more likely to be successful? Right? You have to understand those things. And the reason you have to understand those things is because you have to now start to build the system through the business to be able to answer the question that will come up. You go pitch to the say, okay, most of these brands focus on job creation. If you're working with farmers, for example, are you helping the farmers to make more money? Are you helping them to use their products and sell the products faster? Are you helping them to get into market, technology, all these things? You have to understand them because you have to build internal systems to be able to track those things. So that 2 years ago, you go and say, oh, for the last 2 years, the farmers, instead of working on average, so maybe $40 and they pay that. And the only way to do this is to get a work to look to see, project yourself forward and say, okay, what do we have to do now to be successful 1 year later, to be successful 2 years later? And so for us, that was how we saw it, right? I knew that I put money in it. I put my own money up for one machine. We went to pay. I said, how much money I did, how much oil, how much time real oil, how much money do you do per month? Ask all those questions, right? And then put the machines there. And now try to over a year to see, okay, so people use this machine that they can go oil, they can do that, all those things. And then use those information now to tell that's what I part of this contest. Say, look, I don't have that much money, I put small money into it, but still know what to do. So that if you give us some money, imagine what we do and that's skill. Right? But it's all about understanding the landscape, understanding what the success factors are. Because now there's some businesses that have very strong impact component. There's some businesses that are regular, businesses, just like you do this thing, you make money, and so for those ones, it's like financial investment, right? It's all about operational efficiency, how much profit you make. You have to understand what kind of financing you want to go after, and then optimize the business so you can be able to really achieve those metrics so that when you go to look for financing. Thank you. So now we'll talk about a number of ways to finance your business, right? Grants, competitions. Liberia is a market, and so sorry, I think that's the truth. And so we've got to really figure out different ways, innovatively, how we can actually grow our business to succeed. And just to that point, I know I was talking to somebody recently, and I said about it's not in Liberia, and for Liberia to say this. But I do remember a couple of years ago, along the line of Devon Road, there was time that Devon had to move back into a garage, right? Back to normal terms. So there's been a number of these currencies, but you always have to kind of figure out how do we still navigate these different challenges that we face. I want to come to John to talk about now the part of funding or supporting the and what I've learned, what I've experienced as an entrepreneur as well, is that though there are international partners that are funding these initiatives, there are numerous bottlenecks, right? That even before you get the grant and the process the grant it's difficult. Something you already exhausted, you've already used out all the money you're supposed to use before you get the grant. And so, how are you considering now that you're thinking about working to ensure that these bureaucracies and bottlenecks are minimized? So that entrepreneurs have the freedom, because we said even if you have money, it doesn't guarantee the business succeed, right? To have the freedom to really experiment in the business. And then after that, I'll come to I want to talk about, we learn about the business challenges that the previous one I mentioned a lot. And so I'm sure people here are wondering, well, I know as a consumer farmer, but I'm wondering whether businesses and much, right? But now you're taking over the farmers, how are you considering the fact that you guys fully involved? Ensure that decisions we're making, policies we are reflect the
Sure, yeah, and just how we're making it, we're trying to make it easier. So we also ask for audited financial statements. We do, though, if you work directly with USA, and it's a reality. I mean, we're not that unlike a bank, except that the return, our expectation when we relate to the organization is more on the result than it is on the return of payment, right? So what we have to do and what we're working on doing is taking the guardrails off. So working differently we ultimately we're a bureaucracy, we're a government, we're responsible for issuing grants and contracts and contracts. But what we can do, and we are going to be doing $20 million in doing this area in Liberia, is putting out open calls, not against specific parameters for projects, but in an area. focusing on agribusinesses. So what does an open call look like? We'll advertise it around, but it's something we call an annual program statement that says what we're interested in for us, and us with the government period. And it allows for sort of a minimal and free-form response to that in terms of proposal. Not a lot of paper, and not a lot of detail. And we continue to have to work to reach down so that we're doing more small things instead of large. That's the biggest challenge I think we face is development partners, because ultimately we have to manage things as well, and when we have fewer large things to manage, it's just easier. So how do we get around that problem? And it's we work with partners like TRAP, Mercy Corps, or others to have you as organizations help us to reach other entrepreneurs and smaller businesses and work in that ecosystem, help us work in the ecosystem. So, thank you.
Yeah, so I see that essentially how you are going to protect the rights of local like things of the policy improvement that you are. And just before I came out here, I heard but you are mostly heavily leading other purpose or bigger enterprises, like written for bigger enterprises. It's as a small entrepreneur, you want to know what seed you want out there and how we right to be able to for so how about that? How is that going to be that's a
I did mention earlier when I spoke that the chief of policy has been working with SMEs. So the two governments had the year in Liberia fair. So most of these SMEs participated in that fair, and it was an initiative that we embraced actually. And also, at this point in time, before we started the Chief of Commerce, I want to say that the AGWA program was also a successful initiative, wherein small businesses have the opportunity like you can to be here and to have the opportunity to export their products to other markets. Yeah, and it's something that we want to resource. We studying how to do that. I even had a conversation about it last week, but we are working with government because we request resources program of the government and yeah, so we are still working on the mutual coverage to ensure that we have this and we can keep it up and see how it goes. I listened to the panelist last episode in the first discussion where she mentioned about the library case about the supermarket. And I said to my team, I said, take note of that so that you can use that with supermarkets that are part of the children. So I said this to that we have been encouraging our green businesses, to be part of the children, but I don't have red feet or just some things that have come back. So the most one of the ones that I've always thinking about social relationship. Usually, there's a big council any person has looked into conservative issues to encourage the and even the part of the executive council, which is the position within the of the children. So they have working with the entrepreneurs. We are really encouraging more female entrepreneurs to contact part of SMEs, and particularly female entrepreneurs to come to with that, you will have the opportunity to connect with other businesses. You can also enjoy mentorship opportunities from businesses that are new um, um, situation and have the connections that the referrals and all of that. So I think there's a lot of opportunities as a Liberian owners apart from you be part of our business work network of over 200 companies. There's also developing partners that visit consumer schemes and sure they have different initiatives, different programs that benefit SMEs. So, for example, I've seen recently in the looking for businesses that support that and I brought up the issue of SMEs because the kind of work that I have seen they are like okay, 5 million hours ago, all of that. But I said, well, how can this benefit our small business? And they were willing to roll out the same package and have to sort of reach out small businesses, train them in different areas and aspects of the entrepreneurship to strengthen their business. So that's the area that moving to that as well. So the one company I will children are very following the value of agri and children is my expertise in proposal writing and grant submission. Yeah, so I think the background of when 5, 6 years and I began to develop that, so I was shown to a lot of embedding the concerns of SMEs into those proposals. But I mean, it will be good to have a open conversation with SMEs, actually with what problems that they are facing and how we can help them.
Thank you very much. So we've heard a lot of ongoing initiatives at the Chicago conference. And so in just 1 minute, I will wrap up my assessment with the question. So 1 minute, I have 3 different questions. And so my move. So first, just for background, there is something called venture capital. And that is where investors or impact investors more specifically invest into SMEs or social enterprises, but give you complete freedom, right, with accountability to manage the fund together because they understand that building business requires a lot than just having an idea and and so my little question is, what does freedom, the freedom one you invest that into, what's freedom being for? That's how that form for John, I'm curious to understand now that you listen to everything on the health.
Well, I think the best way for the business to grow for the entrepreneurs and social businesses in marketing communities where they're operating and figure out what needs to be done. Right? You get people on board, you get people advisors, but fundamentally this feedback in that process. And so the freedom that comes in having the ability to really be a free means figure out careful like now. As opposed to somebody coming and saying, oh, yes, I hear what you're saying, but here's what I need to do this. Most of the time, this is not really working because, like, if I'm the one doing this for 7 years, I think that I'm the expert in that. What is if you kind of feel you don't get one or two things, you say, yeah, okay, we'll do it. Which sounds doesn't really work. And so the approach that John is talking about, people who fall to this, I think it's stepping in the right direction because most times, we have general sense of what it is that needs to be done. You get some feedback on like certain technical aspects of the result, but overall, yes, what needs to be done, right? And having access to patient capital in that sense allows us to be able to take those ideas and run them, test them out, build, learn from these failures, so that we can get to the point where we are successful much faster.
Thank you very much. And John, do you think USA, you can see all this relevant work, then the point of
Yes, we've already done this. Well, I'm with my food, for sure, but we're bringing that here, I guess. So, we have committed $20 million building out, venture capital environment partners here. What that looks like, we still have to work on. So, I think I take a moment to just point out that something we always say, this is an ecosystem habitat, we're all operating in this environment. So, we have to work together. So that I wanted to point out that neighbors, business service provision, your business service provision, as well, and venture capital, supporting organizations, helping. So we're getting there. Look for an open call from us in a couple of months, not less. And look for one other comment I would make. I think nothing would agree with me. This isn't a one-shot. You want to, if you get a $500 grant, do something that doesn't work out. Just like this, that's the way it's. Keep trying. We're here to de-risk. Banks are here to invest in you. We're here to bridge, de-risk throughout. One dream. Let us help you dream and take that step.
And then, so I think my final question is really, I heard a number of things out of that, about how accessible, how accessible, whatever.
Yeah, so like today I think along with my membership coordinator, so as we are sitting mentioned outside engaging with the SMEs, sharing our membership form, giving information around it. So that's one thing. Another way is for them to just come out of the office. Their own things. I mean, right out of the police station, right between the lanes and lines in the information ministry. We stop by anytime between 8 to 4 o'clock and will be available to address any type of concerns or questions that you have.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll take questions. Before I can do a quick survey. How many people here knew about the Liberian team or conference before today? How many people did not know? You have a market. Okay. Okay, so I'll take the first two questions and then Eunice, are you helping me to select? I don't know. Lexi, can you select the okay? So I'll take two first.
Thank you. I'm the founder of the Services. The second speaker from USAID, he spoke about two things and caught my attention. The first one was employment, and the next one was contract. So I run a social enterprise janitorial service company based on my own life experience. I had to drop out of college because I couldn't afford college tuition, and so I had to work as a janitor to be able to afford these things. And to a point where into today I have become, the special assistant for Mrs. Liberian. I decided to go back to establish a janitorial service company, and my company's focus is on two key things. The first one is to create employment for young people, and the next one is to also provide financial aid for these young people. 30% of the company's profit go towards providing financial aid to allow them to go to college or technical institution for both less fortunate and underprivileged people. And so I've seen bidding for contracts to be a very issue in Liberia that, it's hard for especially our young business. And so I have contract with Brussels Airlines and one of the USAID projects, and I also work with the director for the Early Women Leadership. So my thing here is USAID. I think one way you can help businesses, small businesses. No, I come in, it's a question. My question. I come into this question first, right? So, because I saw on the platform they have work with USAID and they had a partner directory. So I'm thinking, where is the opportunity that, I mean, when you guys give us some of these projects, you sponsor some of these projects to other businesses, are you telling them, look, for janitor for this portion, can you please hire a company, I mean, that is registered with the Liberian government and pay the taxes? Because by doing that, you also affording us the opportunity to employ more young people and also provide financial aid for more young people to attend college and technical school so that they too can accomplish their dreams in life. Thank you.
So that's John's question. All right. I think it's second one.
Please keep your question at least.
Can I have a female?
There's a female. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Is there a female?
All right, so I'm Chris Jones, and I'm the co-founder of PC Market, one of the co-founders of PC Market. My concern is that USAID is now funding projects. They get about $20 million investment in agribusiness.
Are we serious? Can we see USAID diversifying that portfolio into other spaces like tech and other startup ventures?
I think John's on the hot seat. Okay.
So I might take these both these questions kind of the same way. I think the questions are really about, the first question is really about localization. How are you this year? It's a great question. I tell you, it's a great question. So it's very important because ultimately what we're trying to do is return, our assistance is supposed to go to Nigeria, grow businesses, grow the economy. So we have a new initiative, we have a new administrator, Smith Powers, and for back to the UN, and she has given us a new mandate, essentially, a localization policy. I know that's kind of a government way of answering this question, but I'm going to again tell you what it's kind of look like. I think for the coming months, weeks, years. We already do this to a certain extent, but inside when we receive grants and proposals from organizations, there's definitely a strong encouragement in our policy to local. There are incentives for our whoever's bidding on our projects to make it include Liberian businesses across. But there's going to be an even stronger incentive, and I think you'll see opportunities for the USA Mission on Liberia to direct support. We're basically being encouraged to work more direct Liberian businesses, not through international organizations. And it's something we will have to achieve. But you give me a policy answer, but I think it's coming from you, and I think that's a goal we can share. The other question was about diversifying other non-agricultural spaces. That's also an excellent question. So the way we get our money from our Congress, just like here, and Congress has a reason for telling us they want us to do certain things in certain countries. So we have something called earmarks. So in our funding, earmarks for certain activities, we on the ground in Liberia or any other place, we try to be as flexible with those earmarks as possible. So right now we have a large earmark for agriculture in this country. President Biden just announced a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that Liberia is future country. Gives Liberia access to $5 billion. That's not all of it. You're a priority country in accessing those resources for food security, for nutrition, for agribusiness. And that's why there's strong focus there. Getting back to the point I made before on the localization side, there may be an opportunity for us to diversify. We're looking for tech services. And there may be opportunity that's coming for us to diversify because, not because we're looking for other sectors to work in, but because we're interested in working more directly.
And then to add I think technology itself doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is possible to integrate technology and agriculture. In fact, there's a huge movement right now, agri-tech, right? I think develop tools, technology tools, and make agriculture more efficient, more effective, and use access to markets, access to finance, and all that stuff. So, at the end of the day, again, it's all about the environment operating and trying to figure out where the opportunities are, how to meet everything. just work it out.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take another two. One more.
The last person.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Matthew Elvin, a student of Science University. My question goes to Mr. Mahmoud Johnson. What would be your advice to an entrepreneur who have a conceptual business plan? What would be your advice and what would be your recommendation to that person if you have a business plan but yet it's still in a conceptual stage, like in your mind? How will you go about doing it? What would be your advice to them?
Thank you. Nothing you want to ask questions? Okay, one of good. Here you go.
Okay.
One more, right?
Thank you very much. My question goes to you, Mr. Mahmoud. I'm a community leader, and my colleague and I we have a conversation. And I did finance, taking finance. So they asked me a question. They said, as a graduate, the community need a generator. We cannot be going around experimenting or other people be taking. What can we do to generate funds? And I sat, think about it for a long time. I went back to them and I told them that we can get involved in the sanitation in the form that we can get or people there go to fellow household in the community, get the garbage, and carry to a particular dump site. Every Saturday, they will be found a special demand and each household in the community to pay to the community leadership. I want you to tell me how can I do that? How can I accomplish that?
Was any announcement that said we're actually trying to format the
All right, those are very good questions, by the way. And they're also similar. Usually with a business, every business starts as an idea, right? And the first question you have to ask yourself, or you have to answer for yourself is this a good idea? Good in the sense of, is this an idea that is commercially viable at this time, right? So it's a question of, is there a market opportunity here? Is there demand for this kind of product? Is this something that people are willing to pay for, right? And I think we need to pay a price that is more than the cost you to create the product. So that is the first question you have to answer. And then to figure out the most efficient way to answer that question. So depending on what kind of business you're doing, you want to be able to try it out on a small scale if you have the money to do it, or if somebody gave you the money to do it. Because usually people come to the person who are going to start this business, I'm going to survey and post people in the pay for this. But I mean that's fine. So they give you something they give you, but it's not most of the time they don't give you like so they just make like they don't really so yeah, that's a fair thing. I'll lie. The one way you can really know for sure if somebody is going to pay for something is if somebody actually put their hand in the pocket and give you money to pay for that. Right? So if you say you want to start a business, sell a blue shoes, then you got to go and make a whole factory that make blue shoes. You're not going to make one blue shoe, figure out how to get a material, you got one blue shoe, what is something is pay for it. There's one thing what you make two, make five, make 10. That's how you be able to test out to see that you never for that thing. And then you can start to go and find people that can help you to the next level. The reason why it's important is because not only is it important for whoever it is that you're pitching idea to, it's also important for you as well. Because most times we have an instinct for something that's like it's going to work, but the way we're thinking about it in terms of how to go about it, sometimes every people want shoes, but they don't want blue shoes. So if they blue shoes, for some guy, on that green, whoever the green, the person buying no here. If another person buys it, one person then you know that there's demand for green shoes. right? So it's important for you to do on a very small scale, try to figure out how exactly it works before going back. Some of the people, you know, you don't know the book that you don't want to call big parties that having parties, you know, you do small efficient, figure out, you know, how like what the recipe is, and then make the big part, and then hopefully you can small part. That's how I approach it. To the question about the sanitation, I don't know if you can hire that about. I think, you know, there's definitely demand for sanitation services in Liberia. So I was going to come from people who, you know, there's trash all over the street. So I put that in all that stuff. After I put that, it's not like we don't have this is so people have no job. They do the trash in the street. So if you are providing a service to people at a fee that makes sense, I'm sure it's something that people do. I mean, in my community, I've seen this a lot of people gather together, you go around, you be beside put in trust, put in schools of it that you know. So again, as I was saying, it's something that you want to try out. You know, the key thing with this kind of business is to figure out the pricing, figure out how to charge people, because yes, people want to be able to dispose of the trash, but if it is priced too high, then the not necessarily be able to afford it. But if it is priced too low, then the person that are really not afford it, they're not figure out different pricing. You know, like try different pricing strategies. You know, we try different prices, see which one to and look at the cost. You know, this is a lot that goes into it again, you know, but ultimately you will find out. Most of the time I think we get like there's this thing I see with most people want to start businesses, and it's not accurate to say that we do a business plan and that is perfect. To say I'll do research, I'll do this, I'll prove it. Never works that way. If we have an instant plan for business, if you know the right business is going to buy and then take information from that way. Because this is something that you need to give to the investors or whoever it is coming. But the business plan be rooted in the reality of what it means to operate the business. So you have an idea for something that may work, you want to try it, you know, try it, get feedback, and continue to do relations. Who knows, life from the next community and then all over and then.
Thank you for the master. Okay, and so we're wrapping up. Just a quick announcement. I try to do business development consulting, so we have this question. So we're wrapping up. We'll take 1 minute just for closing remarks. But quickly, is there any one question for coaching on the okay. Thank you for the opportunity for commerce. My name is Melvin Duo, and I run an agro business. We are in the people. My concern goes to the Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce comprises both Nigerian business and foreign businesses. And then these businesses operate in one space, and they are competitors. So how can you reconcile encouraging non-Liberian SME to come on board when both of your members are people who are in the largest space and suppressing those local businesses?
Okay. Yes, thanks for the question. I said earlier that we have reached out to SMEs a lot of times, and we continue to reach out to SMEs. We encourage a lot of Liberian businesses to come to the chamber, bring your concerns, bring your whatever is bugging like what you have just said, that you have this notion that the bigger businesses suppresses the smaller businesses. But what exactly, what sort of suppression is it? I mean, so if you do not come to the chamber and
not getting sort of feedback. Not getting sort of feedback from you. We wouldn't know how to handle your concerns. So, so we cannot generalize, to try to guess what you are doing at. So it's always beneficial to keep the communication line open. Yeah, so you are like very citizen. I mean, the tumor is well situated, right? Everyone passes that or road to go to town because it's either the main road or the road that leads to town. So it's we are just like uh, it needs off the road. So it's not going to take you like 2 minutes at a time. So someone say, let me stop by and find out exactly about this issue. I have this burning issue. I want to join the team of forest, but I feel that this may be an issue if I join the team. And so it's always, as I said, we have this open conversation. So it's not something I cannot express with that issue right here and now because I do not have sufficient information around what you are asking. So all I can say to you is that you make the time, come to visit us at the children, and we all sit and look at your concern, talk about it, and then we can find a way out.
Thank you. All right. So take 1 minute for the comment, and then we can wrap up. Great, thank you. And I think just to say thank you for listening, for your questions. Thanks for the organizing this. I think that the main message from USA is that we want to hear from you, we want to learn from you, and we are going to succeed with your innovation, your ideas, your enthusiasm. Something I heard from a number of entrepreneurs that I just want to share with failing 99 times and succeeding once. Failing 99 times and succeeding once is successful. So we'll make the message again, keep coming back. And I'm sure many entrepreneurs can tell you that. You just need to succeed. Just need somebody to listen one time. And so keep advocating for yourselves, keep advocating to us and to others, service providers.
I want to say thank you to Mercy for organizing this forum. It's been quite a while since we had this kind of gathering for entrepreneurs in Liberia. And I think it's very, very needed to come together and discuss our challenges and to share ideas about how can take our businesses to the next level. I also want to. I think everybody can get me right. I also want to encourage all of us, as John is saying, I also want to encourage all of us to continue to work on our ideas, right? Don't give up too quickly. I can even tell you that, JPAM has been doing this for 9 years now. Even now, we still have talent. I don't think you ever get to the point where you say you don't have any problem, and you don't have to go to work and all of that stuff. There's always something to work on, always something to improve, always something to make better. So you always have to be rooted in what you're doing. Collect feedback from your customers, see what people are saying, and try to work on it better. Figure what's happening and try to make it better. That's what it's all about. It's all about solving problems. So now you're not being you create a solution that solves the problem for the customers. Now you need to solve the problems in your business to make sure that solution is delivered to your customers consistently. So like now, we still complete that order that the one time we right? That's what we got to work on. So, as the business grows, the challenges evolve, right? So you always have to have that problem of mentality. Don't give up. Keep working. That's what
Yeah, I also want to add say thank you to Mercy Talks and also try for organizing program. I mean, well organized and the discussions are good. In a second, I want to say that the worship what we done this common is right out there on the porch. So whatever questions that you have concerning the worship at the Congress, you contact or even myself. Feel free to approach me. I have a lot to meet Mrs. Isabel. She is also from the chamber. Whatever questions you have that would also negotiate, feel free to ask. We always be at the direction of Congress is lovely.
Thank you very much. This has been a very interesting comment. I know you're going to clap in a second. Okay. All right. And so talking about the event organized very well, we have a short survey form here. So bit.ly/MCE fair with the E at the end, which let us know how the event went for you, the discussions, the organizing. We'd like to hear from you because we intend to do more of this. And so with the feedback, we can actually improve on this. So thank you very much to all of our panelists. It's very, really exciting. I've learned a lot as well. And I hope each of you have also learned something from this. So thank you very much for coming. Before we close, we have a microfinance institution and Jerome Wampu, 3 minutes to tell you briefly about some financial instruments. And then after that, you can just go outside and maybe start with the different businesses. So thank you for the panelists to be here as well. We are honored that you can thank you. No, I want you after you come.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The rules are to the brewery.
3 minutes.
Thank you, Wayne. Okay, basically about us. We have Laconia Microfinance and a deposit institution. Laconia Microfinance and deposit institution is owned by Norwegian Regional Alliance. And at the core of what we do is that strong desire to improve lives. So how do we improve lives? Well, through access to finance, that's our loan, micro loan product. And 2 is cultivating the savings culture. That's our savings product. We actually work with BSLA or Community Savings Club, we group, and kind of train them and have our products. And there's absolutely no service charge on our product and services. So we have different types of savings products there. And we also provide financial literacy training for willing groups or organization and free financial advisory services as well. The intent is to kind of build in you basic financial management skills that will enable you to make some financial decisions and when to take loan, when to save, and how to take care of your family. So we are interested in this occasion today because this is an entrepreneurial trade fair. So we are interested in you because you are our target customers. We are not working with big businesses. Instead, we are working with small businesses. We are here to help small businesses to grow. Our products and services are designed and tailored to help your businesses to grow. So we will be out there, you can stop by and be able to get more help and be able to explain more of our products and services. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we have come to the end of the program, the indoor program. But we still have some outstanding things out there. So the SME, the micrograntees, please know that we have a photo session. And China has brought their 360. They just want to share what they can do with the SME and the micrograntees. Once you are displaying products, you can go there for them to have photo of you and document you to share with you on your WhatsApp platform. Okay. So please take this information and fill out your phone. Do we have half of it? No? Okay. So basically, that's the announcement we are coming to an end. We want to all of you for taking part in this session. Please make sure you have something to bring from here. Let's support all our great businesses. You don't have to buy much. Buy something. If you can buy much, you can buy much, and then take the contact for more information. I'm interested in the product. Thank you so much.
So that's our candidate conclusion of the indoor program. Students stay with us will go out. Very fast. Yeah, trying.
Solar inquiry. What is it? One product, you pick it. So, one, you pick it, like that. I'll bring you. All right. Chief, you not taking your dinner? Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Son.
You stuck in picture box.
Is there permission now?
Okay, okay, Joseph.
Apa que tu? Kami esperar por tu ya.
I see you. You've been missed.
Product that is saving, that is child saving, that is saving, and then the rest of it is why you put the money in the bank. It is you would exactly there's no service charge. And then there's you are not and at the end of the time, because they are selling their savings and additional that you keep it in the bank. And then how is that? It's like a normal school that training or the market money market. So I don't know whether many people are always in your way on that way as so I don't have to strategy that someone's going to save them. You know your spending. You will tell us how you want to pay this. Almost like taking a cat in the Nigerian man, then shooting out. Whether you pay a daily, you pay monthly. And then there was something. Whether you will shoot this for 6 months, 1 year, and so on. You are not allowed to withdraw. But you can be shooting to the Nigerian man. And then all the cash, not that I'm not. If you want your money, yeah. No, you are not.
You might be sharing.
And they will keep giving this money for you. They are not because the enemy is just trying to one step. What it says is
for business or emerging businesses that want to come to start saving. What are these looking at the file? You can say file. Don't give me a lot of
we need to the because Father Africa, it can be your citizen Africa, it can be your register where it should be Father. You can even be a passport or if you are traveling to the country. And then you come to you should become along your body, your constitution. What are your faces are with all of the communities, what are you having? That's why I'm facing this that will for me. And you think and saving the experience of service our product is not service anything and another this will have the requested Sharon, I know you have it. You put it on your skin so that what I can put it in your skin. So you put it in roll it down because it's too thick. You got none, yeah. You want something like a fresh so that's not
So actually, the stick and still was go about the one trade fair. Go about the trade fair. How many are you bought that one?
$100.
Where? Okay. All right.
Something very simple. Oh, man, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, but you can make it sometimes, right?
Most of them.
Yeah, like you put more time. Yeah, more time.
Maybe this can take my time to read. You know, if you desire that.
It's also nice.
Yeah. So I prefer doing this than doing this. This line.
You put a lot of time into doing this one. How much is it?
I get $10.
Okay, pull on my hand.
You want this?
Yeah. You pay?
No, this is for someone. I am showcasing it on this camera.
So me, I have the order, right? Yeah. Okay, then let me give me a number.
Oh, you know I know to it. 776.
I will eat what you doing, isn't it? Yeah, we see. I said to you,
Everything is dark. Like this.
Alright, thank you. This is atmosphere. These are like this is many criteria.
So I'm messaging for them now. So,
I think I would do one.
So basically, this is just what happened at the Smart Liberia, the trade fair that has been hosted by Mexico. And we are still here. No. To a radio. I'll share the link with you before I leave.
Yeah, I was just trying.
To a radio. I'll get to it before I leave.
Yeah, Takunia, yeah?
Okay. All right.
Let me show you something. You forgot the contact.
What's
up, bro? What's up? Facebook. 0776 73 110. Yes,
The page is present African fashion. I mean, it's but I also many other
What's their name?
I can get yours. In case you forget, I can contact you.